Let's tell you what's been going on. A representative of the parents of Alex Pretti confirmed that it's their son in the new video from 11 days ago, 11 days before he was shot and killed, that appears to show him confronting federal agents and kicking out a taillight. And you know who and the others, baby, they were waiting for something like this to happen. So they claim that this destroys the narrative that he was a peaceful protester. Again, this was 11 days before they shot him 10 times. Okay. And while Democrats like Senator Elise Slotkin and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are trying to keep things in perspective. Take a look.
Even if he knocked in a light, which is not legal, you don't deserve to be shot 10 times in the street.
Are we actually making the argument that Alex Pretti should be killed for something that happened like 11 days prior to the shooting itself? I think we should be talking about the circumstances that actually led to the killing and what took place. And those circumstances, I mean, you can believe your own two eyes.
So is this video going to continue to be weaponized against Pretti and other protesters?
I think if you use your brain, you recognize that not only did it happen 11 days prior, but no one deserved to be shot at all, let alone 10 times. So I don't think this video changes anything if you're being honest with yourself and not just putting on a narrative or a jersey, excuse me. But Trump won on immigration and economy, and this immigration stuff they've invested so much money into. They've tripled the budget for ICE and this immigration enforcement. But as we know, over 70% of the people that they have put in retention center don't have any criminal records at all. This is killing his approval ratings in a lot of the nationwide polls right now. What he could do is take even a fraction of that money they've spent on ICE, and they could do some subsidized affordable housing, rent assistance, childcare, universal pre-K, lower insurance premiums, cap prescription drugs, increase teachers' pay. What we do know is everyone across the board, politics aside, is hurting right now. That could actually work if they took even a slight amount of what they invested in this. They could help people. And Democrats have continued to win on that issue. So we know it's working and it's what the voters are asking for.
Well, and to me, this new footage doesn't in any way change the fundamental facts of the case. If anything, it actually shows that Alex Pretti could be immobilized by law enforcement without having to shoot him 10 times.
Right.
It's not a good thing to kick out the light of a law enforcement vehicle. I don't agree with spitting on law enforcement. But his personality, his decisions are not germane to the fact that 11 days later, for a completely different altercation, he was shot 10 times after his weapon was removed from him. It's just that's not even the discussion. And this is America, guys. Like, if we don't believe that there should be some sort of standard for when the government, when federal agents use lethal force against an American, I don't really know where we are. But the fact is public sentiment is massively shifting on this. Fox News actually has a poll. 59% of voters believe ICE has been too aggressive, which is up 10 points since just July. 71% of independents think that ICE has been too aggressive, up 22 points since July. And today we heard Tom Homan, the so-called border czar for the administration, walking a lot of this back. He says there are plans to, at some point, leave Minneapolis. There's a memo going around that's instructing ICE officers to not engage with protesters. This has not ended well for them. And it signals to me that the administration realizes this is a huge political loser across the political spectrum for them.
Can I bring up something? Because you know, if you really want to de-escalate, I think they have to cut this federal force in half. They have to cut it in half. There's too many of them. They need to take those masks off and identify themselves to the public. Because they keep saying that this is, you know, that this is law enforcement. There's not a law enforcement group that I've ever heard of that has walked the streets, that has moved around in any neighborhood wearing a mask.
That's true.
Ever. They have to stop messing with the kids. Quit it. Stop. Just stop, you know? And you have to they need to give these agents an actual list of actual criminals you said you were going to target. And when you go to someone's house, they can say, who are you here for? They can say, this is the person we're looking for.
And they should go to the house with a warrant.
With a warrant. And what I need Tom Holman and all of those folks to admit, because he said, you know, maybe there are better ways we should have done this. No, admit what they did. Say what they did. Say it shouldn't have happened, and let's all move on. But if you want to de-escalate, you know, what could have happened, this ICE group could have de-escalated this. They didn't have to stop and jump out and jump this guy.
Oh, in the
in the
11
second,
days.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about how to de-escalate stuff. If you see people and they're spitting on your thing, you don't have to stop and beat them up.
No. Well, he was also carrying his weapon on the first one, and he wasn't shot, which
shows
you it can be done.
If they truly want to de-escalate and show some good faith, let's start by having a thorough, unbiased investigation of the 2 murders of Renee Good and of Alex Pretti, including local authorities. And also, you want to de-escalate? There's something you could do today. You could release Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old with the little blue bunny cap who was being held in a detention center, is lethargic and depressed. Yesterday, Joaquin Castro, the congressman from San Antonio, went and visited and found a child asleep who was not engaging at all in the middle of the day, a child who used to be playful, who was participating in school, a child who misses his classmates. His mother is available to take him today. There is no reason why that child should still be being held.
Yeah, there are many things you can do today. You can start it today if you really want to de-escalate. If you really want people to pay attention to why you're actually there, why you're supposed to be there,
I think,
as opposed to what you're doing.
I think they.
You want to hold on for me?
We're going to continue?
No. Of course we're going to continue.
Oh, no, I didn't know if we were going to go to another topic, because I don't...
No.
Okay.
We're going to, see, take a look, see. All right. We'll talk more about this when we come back. But Sonny, you know what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Speak up,
you know,
please.
there is nothing that in the video, the second video that we've now seen, that justifies his killing 11 days later. There's nothing there. What is concerning to me is that when you see him kick out that light, that is destruction of federal property, and that is a crime.
Yes.
That you can be arrested for.
Yes.
My understanding is that what these agents have been doing is that they have been videotaping the protesters and the observers, and they have been running their faces, doing facial recognition, and they have been getting their addresses, and they've been sharing that information with other agents. So my concern is now... Allegedly, but my concern is now that this video provides those 2 officers who we saw shoot him 10 times with a self-defense claim.
But did they put together that was the same person?
Well, he's wearing some of the same exact clothes.
But it feels like that's
the answer is we don't know.
So the argument could be, you know, we know who this was. He was an aggressive person.
And that's why they shot and killed him with 11 shots?
And now we see he has a gun. We feared for our lives. You know, you always hear that with law enforcement. We fear for our lives. And that's why we shot him. And so as a lawyer, that's what I saw immediately.
They also could have, those officers could have arrested him on the spot.
Well, that would have de-escalated.
But now he's dead. He can't stand trial.
But I think they're going to, listen, they assassinated the man, and now they're going to use this video from 11 days before to assassinate his character.
Well, so...
What I would say to the American people is, you know, I'm not going to judge Alex Pretti on these 5 seconds. I'm going to judge him by the testimony of his colleagues, of his patients, who have all talked about a man who was caring and kind and went above and beyond.
Correct.
The children of those patients who talk about this kind man, his neighbors, his community. So, yeah, he had, this was not good. It was a bad day. I almost wish they had arrested him, because maybe then they wouldn't have killed him.
But by the way, his character doesn't actually, I don't think his character is actually germane to it. The law applies for guys who might not be the nicest guys. That does not give the federal government the right to murder them or to shoot them 10 times, regardless of who they are as people. And he may be a great guy. I don't know.
Yes.
What you were saying, I think, is very important in terms of de-escalating and how they can make changes. And my understanding now is that Representative Josh Gottheimer, he's out of New Jersey, a Democrat, he's announced the ICE Standards Act aimed at enhancing accountability, transparency, and training for ICE agents. It would require mandatory body cameras, which they don't have.
Yes.
So strict identification standards, no masks, training and de-escalation, mandatory training. And so I think that while, again, this was such a tragedy, this man did not have to die. It will affect change.
I
No
was
question
talking
about
to a
it.
friend of mine who's a police chief, and he was talking about the de-escalation is a acquired skill that
Yes.
requires intensive training. You don't get it from being plucked off the street, given
But
a $50,000 signing
and a
bonus.
But here's the thing,
personality trait as well.
if you don't, this is the problem. No one knows who any of those people are because we don't know if they're border, we don't know if they're ICE. They're not identified.
Right.
Nobody, and they're in camo gear.
Yeah.
Also, when protesters were jumping on police with their guns and doing all of this stuff,
On January
on
6th.
January 6th, one person was killed. 4 officers died after.
Yeah.
Where is everybody's thought process going? Because,
And Donald Trump pardoned them all.
You pardoned all those people.
Right.
You know, and you said to us after Ms. Good was killed that the officer that shot her had a bad incident 11 days before.
Yeah.
A couple weeks.
Months.
I just can't
months before.
honestly believe that a lot of conservatives are arguing that someone legally carrying a gun that they were not brandishing, that was taken off their person, can be killed by the federal government. That goes against everything that we're
also
supposed to
arguing that they
fundamentally
shouldn't be
believe
able,
in.
and they're also arguing that you cannot bring a gun to a protest. Where was that energy when Kyle Rittenhouse brought his huge gun?
Protests all over the Capitol.
Where was that energy?
Either it's wrong for everybody or it's right for everybody.
Right.
You have to make up your mind. You can't pick and choose with stuff like this. People will get hurt until you make a decision. You want to de-escalate? We gave you some ideas. You don't have to listen to us, but they're good, viable ideas.
And they should pass that act.
And states
They
should just pass it in all states. It should
all
just
states.
be mandatory
and people
for everybody.
can call their congressperson
You know?
and senator and
say,
ask them
make
to
sure
support
this gets done. We'll be right back.
those measures.
Yeah.